John, a year since Glenn's took over, what have you made of him and his appearance there?
Well, it goes without saying, he's completely transformed the club. I mean, I've been following this club, Reece, for many years, and to be perfectly honest, these are without doubt the most exciting times I've been involved with. You've got to look back when Steve and Sharon Kemp were in charge. They'd done their best, and without their input and their enthusiasm, there was a real danger at one time that the club might not have even been here. But we kind of levelled out. Glenn's come along and he's added a whole new dynamic to the whole thing. The ground is transformed. I mean, let's be honest, it was getting tired, it was probably getting a little bit dangerous as well, through no fault of anybody, but he's come in, and to this day he's done everything that he said he would, and I'll take my hat off to the man, because it's not about pumping money into the players. He's built the whole community feel about the club, and this place is not only buzzing on a match day, but you really feel we're going somewhere.
And let's talk about what he's doing for the community. Is it the right thing he's doing?
I think so, yes, because again, people that enjoy non-league football, people that have been coming to Billericay Town, we've been used to crowds of 250, 300. Occasionally we get 500 for a bigger game, which is fine given what it was. Glenn sort of put out a hand to everybody in Billericay and said, come down here, it's new, it's fresh, it's exciting. And the crowds speak for themselves. I think our average in the league is now 1,500. It won't be long before we pass 2,000. I mean, Christmas time with the game against Dulwich, it could be massive down here. But people are not just coming for the one-off games, they're coming week in, week out. And that doesn't happen by magic, that happens because there's a real good feeling. And, Glenn's put it out there and people are actually buying into it.
And do you think Glenn's ticked the boxes and everything he's done with media and that type of thing?
Glenn is Glenn. Glenn knows what he wants to do. He has very much his own agenda. What he wants, he goes for. Some people might take the view that media-wise he's been a little bit controversial at times. But what you can't deny is the name of Billericay Town is out there everywhere. Yeah. And because of that, we're getting the focus for lots of positive reasons. That's why the crowds are up. And that's why we are where we are as of today. Billericay is no longer a sleepy club in Essex. Billericay is out there amongst the forefront of non-league, and that to me is fantastic. And for long-standing fans, as I say, that is a real breath of fresh air.
And League Two's the target. Do you think we will make it?
That's a question that's come up several times, and it's a very hard one to answer. Out of this league, for sure, Conference South is like a glorified Bostik. You get top 6 teams that are normally really good, the rest of them so-so. So every chance of that. Conference National, it starts to get really tough. You've got some big players in there, you've got big money in there, you've got professional teams in there. But you've got to say, on the face and on the back of everything that's been done so far, why not? Why can't that happen?
And with League Two, do you think if we get there, it'll be all down to him, or do you think it'll be down to everything around the club?
Listen, everything in life needs a catalyst, you have to have a spark from somewhere. This man has come to this club out of his choosing and put it on the map. And you know what, if we get into League Two, no one can turn around and say it wasn't down to Glenn, because it wouldn't have happened if Glenn wasn't around. Yeah. That's the facts, the hard and fast facts. So, as I say, in that respect, what I like about the guy tremendously is he listens to the fans. He actually listens to what they want, what they really feel about the club, and he's embraced that and added his own charisma. Fantastic.
And if you had one thing to say to him at the end of this year, what would it be to him?
Thank you.
Alright, thanks John. So Lewis, Glenn, a year since he's took over, what has he done to this club for you?
I mean, you can see the difference in the club week in, week out. First thing is attendances, and at the actual stadium itself, you wouldn't recognise the club from this time last year. It's the most exciting time for the club my whole lifetime. In 25 years I've followed Billericay, it's the most exciting time that there's been for the club, and there looks like there's a bright future with him in charge. And
from this year so far, do you think it's been a success or a failure?
It's been a success overall. I mean, obviously came in sort of halfway through last season, so last season was always going to be a tough one to try and push for promotion, but had a good sort of run towards the end and nearly got the playoffs. But this season so far has really shown the potential of the club, and who knows what we can achieve in the future.
And look at this beautiful stadium, the things he's built for us. What do you make of that himself? That
shows the sort of the long-term view. He's not just here to just have for one season and then get bored and go away. He's actually here to do the long term, and say things like stadium and obviously the attendances that have resulted from the improvements to the stadium and things show that this is a long term project. This isn't just a one season thing and then to sort of go on. This is a long term project.
Do you think Glenn will ever get bored of being here?
I can't see it because I don't get bored of being here, so hopefully they don't either. So, you know, there's always potential for development in all aspects of the game.
Yeah.
So, you know, whether that's on the pitch or off the pitch, there's loads of potential, and Glenn's finding that so far.
And let's talk about the fan base. I remember a year ago, 231 here. Now we're getting crowds of 1,000. What do you think that's due to? The stadium or him himself?
Yeah, both. I think it's a bit of everything. It's the club are playing. They're playing good football. They've got some quality signings. The stadium's good. The atmosphere's good. You know, it's sort of everything coming together. There's always potential in this club, and I don't think it just never really realised it until, you know, a bit of investment came in. You know, a bit of development, bit of investment, and it makes all the difference. And people are starting to realise that.
League Two's the target for you. Will we make it?
Long term, love to say yes, but you got to take it one season at a time. As I always say, you know, this season we've got to look for promotion, and then once we're in the National South, then look for the same sort of target. But long term, I'd love for that to be the target. And I think that if that's what Glenn wants to aim for, then that's, you know, we've got to get behind it.
And what do you think of the type of character Glenn's been throughout this whole year?
I mean, obviously he's caught the attention of many people for various reasons, and some agree with what he's doing, some don't agree with what he's doing. But whether you agree with it or not, it gets people talking, and it's get people talking about this club and the coverage that the club have got. You know, this time last year, you would say people Billericay Town, they wouldn't necessarily know who they are, and whereas now it's been covered nationally. You know, so the coverage has been fantastic, and the sort of again, that's what's helped the club grow as it has, is that people are talking about it.
And do you think Glenn's ticked the boxes in every single development target of this club?
It looks that way, you know. He looks, because he's not just going on the pitch, as I say, he's going for off the pitch. He's gone for the facilities. He's gone for the youth. You know, everything else with that as well. So he's looking for a long term solution for the club rather than just a short term one.
And what do you think of what he's done for the Colts? Because he's investing in them as well.
Definitely, and again, if you want a long term, long-term investment for this club, then that's what you've got to do: is invest in the youth and start at the bottom and sort of work your way up. So that's exactly what he should be doing, and he's doing right in that interest.
And finally, if you had a message to Glenn after this year, what would you say to him?
Obviously, you'd say thank you, really, on behalf of the fans, in terms of what he's done for the club, and hopefully what he'll continue to do for the club in the future of seeing the club grow. So.
And going on to next year, what would be your target for him?
I think just keep doing what we're doing on the pitch. You know, the improvements on the pitch are noticeable, and the improvements off the pitch then become noticeable from that. So, you know, continue doing what he's doing, really, and see where we go.
Right, thanks, Chris.
Cheers, Reece.
Right. So, Dan, obviously it's been a year since you and Glenn took over. Mm-hmm. How do you think the fans have taken to this and your project?
Do you know what? I couldn't even. I think you're asking the wrong person how the fans have taken to it. I think you're probably best off getting an interview with, with some of them. From my opinion, though, listen, I think they've been fantastic, and to see the crowds grow from, what was it, December? We was looking at like 200-300s to now going to 14, 15, 1600s, even 2000 at some point. It's fantastic, and it really is sort of humbling. It puts what we do into perspective, because it's all well and good, saying about all these unbeaten games we've been going, and listen, it's a fantastic run what the players have been doing. But realistically, I don't think the players will be able to give as much as they do without all the fans behind them. So it means a massive lot. It means a hell of a lot to them, to us, and to everything. Because what it does, it shows that what you're doing, sort of behind the scenes, it's resonating, and sort of showing that it's all worthwhile, really. So no, listen, it's fantastic, and thank you to all the fans, really, to everyone.
And on social media, the club's got like 20k followers. I remember when it had 200 or 300. How pleased are you with things like social media? How that's going?
Well, again, listen, I've not got a bad word to say about anything, really. Social media. I'm not really a social media fan, if I'm totally honest with you. Realistically, I get to a point where I've come off social media. I think I started Facebook when I was like 15 ages ago, but never really been something I've been interested in. But then since I took the Billericay Twitter off of Steve.
Yeah.
And you know what, it was just a little bit of a sort of a mess around, and but then we started taking it more seriously, and like you say, I think it was on about 3,000-4,000 when I took over, and then it just started growing and growing and growing and growing, and like you say, now it's on 20-odd thousand. So Rob sort of mostly manages it now. He's done a fantastic job. Taking it obviously to places that I could never have taken it, because I'm no good at it at all. Listen, I think it's a fantastic tool. We've also seen it does as much good as it does sometimes bad. There are some things that are sort of vented on social media that probably shouldn't be put on social media. But like you say, we're all constantly learning, and yeah, it's going alright. I'm happy with it.
And obviously, BBC have been down here. We're, as I'm pleased to say, the only club with a non-league fan channel. How do you think that's taken to the club?
What, the BBC come down here? Listen, whether it's BBC, BT, anyone coming down, any form of media, coverage is good for the club and good for non-league. Like you say, there are a lot of inverted commas haters out there. But realistically, how I look at it is, they've just got to worry about themselves, worry about their clubs, and worry about everything. Let us get on with what we're doing. In my eyes, I think it's only positive, because the more media coverage for sports and non-league clubs, the better. And what we're also doing is, what I've seen anyway, and the feedback that I've been getting from fellow directors from other clubs, is that their gates are increasing as well. And that's just not hearsay, that's genuine. You see sort of, maybe you have some clubs that only get sort of 50, 100, 150 people, sitting watching their games. All of a sudden, Billericay come to town, and they're getting sort of like 500, 600, 700s at some point. So it's good, because not only is it what we're doing is increasing the media attention, it's also putting money in other clubs' pockets, which I'm all for.
And obviously, let's talk about the haters a little bit.
Okay.
Glenn gets some harsh abuse there. How would you think he's managed himself in not retaliating?
Do you know what? I probably don't even want to talk about it, and I don't want to give him any attention. And that's what Glenn's learned to do as well. So it's a case of the higher up you go, the more successful you become, the more people you're going to get. Sort of, we use the word hating upon you. So it's been a steep learning curve for all of us. And it's just, listen, put it to bed, ignore it. It's water off a duck's back. That's how you've got to look at it. Essentially, some people say things that go a little bit too far. But other than that, that's it. Don't even want to talk about it anymore, because it's a horrible thing, and they're just, listen, people that, like you say, you just don't put that around yourself.
And let's talk about next year. Your targets in terms of like attendance and everything. What is that?
We haven't set out any targets for attendance, because realistically, it's not anything we can have an influence on. Yeah, exactly. All we can do is our best, and if people want to come and watch it, they'll come and watch it. Like you say, I can't sit out and say, right, I want to have 2,500, 3,000 people in next season, because essentially there might not be 3,000 people that want to come and watch. There probably are, but I can't make them get up and come down. But all I can do is, or all we can do, should we say, is do the best we can. The boys on the pitch, us behind the scenes, and just keep moving forward, and hopefully people do sort of get the bug, because what we found a lot this season is there are a lot of first time Billericay fans, people that have been fans of league clubs, so West Ham, Southend's, things like that, and they've just got a bit disheartened with it all. So they've come here, seen the atmosphere and the buzz, probably being nosy for the first time. I want to see what this is all about, seeing what it's all about, and sort of loving it. So they get that bug, and I mean there are people here that have been supporting the club for 30, 40, 50 years plus. So they got the bug all that time ago, and now there's people getting the bug now in 2017. So that's good.
And finally, this club, I've been here for 5 years. We had 281, nobody knew our name. Now we had French media come down, and fans from even Scotland with Blue Watch. What do you make of that?
Listen, last week I was had an interview with like Swedish TV and things like that. It is crazy, and it really, really is. And like you say, all we can do is just carry on, continue what we're doing, and the more people that want to know about us, the better. Like I say, I've seen that there are fan bases in like Canada, Australia, Africa. I literally can't believe it. How sort of far it's gone, and long may it continue. It may be by the help of getting some of the big names in, but realistically, what I'd like to think is it's everything we're doing. The whole ethos, and that sort of way that Glenn and ourselves and Andy are changing the way non-league works. Listen, we're only doing what we know, if that makes sense. And we didn't know non-league football, so we're doing things how we feel they should be done. And yeah, listen, some people agree with it, some people don't, but it seems to be doing all right at the minute.
And if you had one message to say to our fans in England,
Right.
what would you say to them?
Message to our fans. Listen.